So into the charts we go, and once again, Bitcoin pushed up, tested that 28,500, 600 level, and again failed. Now, when I say failed, what I mean is it's not getting through. It's not able to hold up there and push through that level. And we can clearly see it here on the daily chart. Here's your daily candle right here. We were up trading. The high of the day on this is right at that 28,700 level, which was a pierce of that level. And now it's trading at 28,000 even numbers. So again, number one, we knew this level was going to be a massive level of resistance, right? I mean, I've told you guys that for months now, that when we got up here, this was going to be a big level. And then the big question is, can the price action hammer the level enough to get through it? And then even if it gets through this 28.5-ish level, can it get up to that 30,000 level and actually get through as well? And again, I kid you not, when I say this is the equivalent of the Great Wall of China, if saying this is like the equivalent of 10 brick walls back to back, that's what it is, folks. All right, and that's what you're seeing here before you. You are seeing price action. I don't even remember a level in a chart recently where it's hit or kissed so many times in a span of 2 to 3 weeks and still has not gotten through. Now, again, is it possible that eventually it will? Yeah, if it hammers enough. There's always, right? I mean, heck, look at water. You look at a waterfall or water as it carves out rocks. I mean, over time, it does have an impact. But obviously, in this case, the time has not been long enough yet. So pretty darn cool stuff. And again, this excites me when you understand, how significant resistance levels are. And by the way, this was pointed out to me this morning in the live broadcast that I did on YouTube. It was a free live broadcast, and someone brought this up, and I'll remove these little circles for now just to keep it as simple as possible. But really what you have here, folks, is another trend line that's converging that equals even more resistance. So take a look at, this is the pre-high of Bitcoin before it went to 69,000. So this is the 65,000 high. Notice how you did go above it, but then you came down here, you hit it right here, you bounced, then you broke below it, you hit it again here from the underbelly, then hit it again here from the underbelly before breaking down. So that tells you that level got reestablished. Even though you broke it here, it got reestablished when the chart started paying attention to it again under here. And that means that this level is now another level. It's not an epically major one. It's just one more level downsloping where, again, if price breaks up a little, you're going to run into another wall on the chart. So pretty wild stuff there, guys. And again, something just to keep an eye on here. All right, so again, the bottom line is you guys saw what I did, right? I mean, again, everyone who has this service has the alerts. Again, I pulled the trigger on a short on Ethereum here, adding to my short. And again, I added to that short at $1,915. Again, we are above this level. I told you guys I would add right around there, and next add level will be at 2015, basically 2,000 Pierce on the chart. So again, slowly accumulating, still a very small position on the short side of Ethereum, but still accumulating on this, and we'll watch and see. But the one thing you can point out here in the crypto markets is that Ethereum is stronger than Bitcoin right now. And again, you might say, well, how come? Well, very clearly, we're making short-term moves to the upside in Ethereum. If we go to the Bitcoin chart, we can clearly see that we haven't made short-term higher highs, right? Here was your high over here. You've never taken that high out yet. Doesn't mean we won't, but as of now, it has not taken that high out. All right, so that's something to pay very, very close attention to here on the charts as well. So let's just go take a look at some of these alts. So the alts playing catch up. I mean, Ethereum is kind of an alt, so it is performing better than Bitcoin. Let's take a look at some of these other alts there. XRP really isn't, I don't classify it quite as such, but you can see it's a slight green day on Ripple here, XRP. Nothing really new to report there. Let's look at Matic here, see what Matic's doing. Matic's having a flat day, so nothing new there. So again, just to be clear, from what I'm seeing thus far, is it's not like it's alt season. A lot of times what you'll hear is people say, oh, Bitcoin runs first and then alts run afterwards. Well, we're not seeing that yet. We definitely are not seeing that at this point. Bitcoin stalled out, but the alts are not really rallying sharply like they have in the past, which again is worth noting. I'm skeptical of that narrative this time. I feel like everyone's expecting the alts to take off, and that's sometimes the case where they don't take off. So we'll watch that very closely. All right, let's take a look at Cardano here. Cardano has had a pretty nice move recently, but even today, flattish day. Again, still holding above this downsloping channel, which is a positive for Cardano, but certainly nothing that, again, would get my attention at this point. Polkadot real quick. Polkadot, again, flat to slightly down day today, so nothing going on there. I still think a pullback down into this area right down here on Polkadot would be a support that might be buyable, depending on how the crypto market looks at that point. So again, I'll keep an eye on the crypto markets and see what it ultimately tells us. Okay, next up, let's take a look at a few of these others. How's Solana doing? Solana, small down day today, still stuck in this channel. And again, here's a channel that actually you go back here, you did break below here. So this is, by the way, this is a great educational piece. So remember how I showed you on the Bitcoin chart, how that new trend line that well, someone actually pointed it out to me, so I got to give credit to them. But either way, that trend line was a trend line that had been negated when it broke above. And I'm just erasing these lines to kind of clean up the chart. But let's go back to that Bitcoin and just show that again, because this is good for educational purposes. So here again, you had a pivot high, and then you came up here and you cut right through it. And it's like, okay, well, that line there's no line to connect right there. Okay. Above here, we then came down, and then this is where it hit here, and again, it hit right here. And that's where that level got reestablished, even though you don't have you have break point right here. All right, if we go back to the Solana chart here, all right, you can kind of see that happening almost as well by here's a high and here's a low. You broke below, you came above it, then you retraced to it here, bounced up, almost there, then here, and then obviously hitting the high end right here. So just kind of a little thing to show you that weirdly enough, levels can break briefly or for a period of time, and as long as price action reestablishes it, then that's actually technically okay. Would I consider a level like this to be major or minor? It's just a minor one. And by the way, I'm talking about this lower one because this is the one that broke. The upper one is major, right? All right, because look, you never had a break of that. You have a high pivot, you hit it again here, and again here. So that's major. This one down here, where we start here, you were below it, and then you establish yourself here. So that's more of a mid-level or minor level. Okay? All right. So that's what we have on that front at this point in time on that chart. I want to quickly go to Avalanche and just see what we got going on. Avalanche actually did have a pop earlier today, but again, giving it up basically back to the flat line there. Haven't looked at Uniswap in a while. Let's take a look at Uniswap. Nothing going on there. And again, the alts, honestly, they don't really look. I mean, again, Polkadot, a few of them, Avalanche looked okay. Was up a little bit today. But aside from that, I'm not overly impressed with the alt market out there. Let's take a look at Chainlink real quick. Chainlink hovering right here, a little bit of resistance here. Here's your support down here on Chainlink. All right. So again, bottom line is, I think at this point in time, for me, as I analyzed through, the keys are still Bitcoin is number one, right? Bitcoin, that chart, has it run into a wall and it's going to fall off of that wall and kind of come back down, or is it going to break to the upside eventually the more it hits? That's the big question mark. Right now, resistance is resistance. You respect it until it's broken. Ethereum is the other one. Ethereum, again, just to summarize, is above the upward sloping channel, but very quickly approaching that major double top, which takes us back to the highest point from the low that was put in back here when we were basically at $900. Your high here was 2,000. That looks to be where price is going in the near term here on Ethereum. All right, that's all from me today, guys. As always, you guys rock and roll. And again, as much information as I can get to you, I'm going to keep giving to you. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. As always, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Take